Hey everybody, Matty Ice here. I just wanted to go over the Solar 3.0 build I'm rocking for my Warlock, especially with the new aspects that were just released today. And I wanted to be showing off a little bit of that new functionality. So I'm currently doing the Starfire build that's been going around. So you're going to have Empowering Rift with a Fusion Grenade, your preference of Glide, and then Incinerator Snap, but you can also be switching to Celestial Fire because as the TWAB that came out today stated, this will now apply Scorch. So this is going to be, more useful now, whereas this one was previously the only one that applied Scorch. The Celestial Fire will give you Scorch at a distance. For this particular one, I'm doing Icarus Dash and Touch of Flame. Touch of Flame is pretty much a necessity here. It's going to make your fusion grenades blow up twice, which gives you enough Scorch to have them ignite with the proper fragments. And then Icarus Dash is purely for mobility. Heat Rises is getting a buff with the TWAB. So now you can consume your grenade, which also gives you a benefit. So like if you consume a healing grenade, for example, it's going to apply Cure and Restoration to you. But again, we're doing Starfire, so we're not going to be consuming healing grenades. So I'm not going to be using that for this build. I am considering looking into this for my Sunbracer build, but I will talk about that in a second. So moving on to the fragments. I'm currently using Ember of Torches to make myself Radiant with the melee, Ember of Solace to give myself longer duration on Radiant and Restoration, Ember of Ashes to apply more Scorch, and this is what allows those fusion grenades to instantly ignite, and then Ember of Eruption, so my ignitions have a bigger radius. Now this works great and has been my go-to for a little while here. But with the new fragments that just came out, Ember of Empyrean is one that I'm looking into. So I am currently in the Intro to Grasp of Avarice with my Vex. You can have any solar equipped here. I'm just going to show off my current use of aspects and fragments. Before I do that, though, let me talk about mods real quick. For the most part, I'm running high resilience because they buff the resilience, so you get that 40% damage reduction. Ashes to Assets, Explosive Wellmaker, those are pretty much like my go-to for the helmet. Ashes of Assets I will occasionally swap out if I want like a Finder mod. And then Harmonic Siphon, just because if I have a solar weapon, I might as well be creating orbs for myself. And it's only one energy, and that's the leftover energy slot. For gloves, you want to go with Arc on the gloves because you have momentum transfer. We're going to be throwing a lot of grenades, so that's going to get your melee back quickly. I personally like Seeking Wells. I know some people do something different here. I go Seeking Wells. I'm not going to run around to pick up my wells. They can come to me. Glaive of Dreams, I have this on for the new dungeon, but this is going to get swapped out if I need to put on a champion mod. This is situational. Normally I would be going 2 momentum transfers, but I don't have the energy for that. If I get slightly better armor, I could drop this down to a +5, but right now I'm at 104 resilience, so I can't quite do that. Starfire Protocol, pretty much the key exotic for this build, which lets you just spam those fusion grenades in your rift. Has to be an empowering rift, so we kind of give up our healing rift there, but because of the seasonal mod Classy Restoration, it's fine. And then I have Well of Life here for that little bit of extra survivability, plus the seasonal armor. Boots, I have Void Boots. It doesn't really matter what boots you have. I do Elemental Ordnance for extra wells, and then Absolution, Better Already. I think every version of the boots has some form of healing on orb, and class ability regen on orb pickup. And again, we're generating those orbs off of solar weapon kills, so we're getting a fair bit of those. The class mod I switched around recently. I did have some bombers in here, but with classy restoration being 6 energy, it kind of takes up a lot of that with the 10 resilience as well. So there's 9 of my energy, and then 1 extra one. I figured I'd throw in a Well of Ordnance. You could put in Elemental Light to get some more wells to spawn in your super, your Well of Radiance. But I want to go with Well of Ordnance. Just again, this whole build kind of revolves around grenade spam. Might as well get those grenades back even faster. And then this way, if for whatever reason my Rift has an issue, I don't want to have to wait for it to cool down and get some wells to spawn or some orbs or something. Get the grenade back faster, because grenade kills, fusion grenade kills, give you the Rift back completely. So yeah, I'll just be showing this off a little bit here. Looks like the hive have already killed all the fallen. So we'll just get a quick wave clear going here. Alright. So. Got our Rift, throw a grenade, blow it up, heal back just fine because we have that restoration ×2. And you can see that I've got my Rift back already, so if I am taking damage, I can just pop another one. And we're just fine. We got restoration ×2 again. Now if I'm in a situation where it runs out, oh no, I'm hurt, I'm dying, but I've got my healing going. You can see on the left side there. That is from Well of Life. It keeps you alive in a lot of situations. And because I got fusion grenade kills, I can pop another one, get restoration ×2. And then I can also do my Well of Radiance, same thing. Everything in here gives me empowered damage, so it all applies. So if I shoot this guy, you can see my grenade comes back pretty quickly. Grenade's coming back, grenade's coming back. So then you just spam more grenades, damage done in your Rift or in your Well, gives you your grenades back. So the plan, for the most part with this one, I'll probably die to these Thrall here. But for the dungeon, I've been using my Commemoration because it's got Reconstruction, so it auto reloads. So Reconstruction, if you're not familiar, this is from the Deepstone Crypt. Reloads itself slowly over time to double capacity, so I've got a lot of ammo in there. I believe it's 136 is what it goes up to. So what I will do in a boss situation similar to Galron of the first dungeon is I will plant my Well of Radiance, shoot, throw my fusion grenades, shoot him with this to generate my grenade energy back, and then just keep spamming grenades as I get that energy to come back. And then will occasionally alternate to Wither Horde to do that constant tick damage. But now with the new fragments that came out, I'm thinking of switching Ember of Eruption for Ember of Empyrean. So let's see what that looks like here. That does drop my resilience, unfortunately, down to 32%, so I might have to rework my armor to get that back up. But the purpose of doing that is now that solar weapon kills will extend that restoration. So I'm going to have to wait for my energy to come back. So let's just kill some stuff, generate some orbs, all that fun stuff. Actually, I can just pick up these 10 of these guys if that works for me. Alright, there we go. So it looks like we got our grenade energy back, which is fine. Kill one of these guys. Get a Rift. So now we've got our Rift. Oh, did I take off the wrong... Sorry about that. It looks like I took off the wrong guy. Oh, Classy Restoration is on. It doesn't look like it gave me restoration from that. Let's try that again here. There we go. Restoration ×2. So now I'm more or less invincible in my ×2 restoration for 10 seconds. But now I can kill something with a solar weapon, and it looks like, let's take it down to... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's try that again. So restoration times 2, it's down to 5 seconds. Kill something, looks like it gives us about 4 to 5 seconds. It looks like it's bugging out. That's very interesting. So I don't know what's going on with that. That's something to look into. Right now it appears to be bugging out, where it's actually taking away my restoration. Let's come back over here and try it again. So restoration times 2, 5 seconds left. Goes up to 9, 11, 12. So it looks like 12 seconds is the max. So it won't go past 12 seconds. So this was the concept of the build here, was that I'm just always in... Oh, I think the burdens... Okay. So that could be a problem with this damage, or this build testing. So let's die real quick. It seems the burdens are overriding restoration. That's very interesting. Okay. Learn something new when you do these things. Alright, so let's try it back here. Boom, 12, 12, 12. So I'm just like constantly at that restoration times 2. I'm going to stand in the damage. Times 2, times 2. Try not to pick up any burdens. I'll just let these thralls keep attacking me. So yeah, you can see here I'm just getting annihilated by thrall in the back. But it's all fine because I'm in restoration times 2. Grenade kill. Alright, looks like I picked up a burden, which got rid of it. So yeah, that's very unfortunate that the burdens overwrite this, because it makes it a little difficult to show off here. But luckily that doesn't happen in any other dungeon, so you won't have to worry about that in future encounters. It's just this one particular instance. I have to pick up one though, so I don't die from the mechanic of the burdens. But yeah, you can see this is kind of what I'm thinking of going with for my future build. So yeah, I did lose a little bit of resilience because it's a -10 resilience. And I picked up another burden. So, alright, but yeah, so if it wasn't for the burden situation, this would be very functional. And any solar weapon will do. I'm using a primary just because that's going to give me the most utility. But you can use a special weapon. I've been thinking of using the explosive personality grenade launcher. But even without the increased duration off of kills, you know, all I have to do is get a grenade kill, and I get my rift back, so I can pop it again. So if I'm in a situation where like I'm not able to get a grenade kill or a weapon kill, that's when I'm in trouble with this build. But for lower end content like this, or if there's something with a bunch of ads, like a boss with ads, kind of like Galron or Keitel. Actually, Keitel is the one that doesn't have ads. So Galron or the second phase of the new dungeon. That's where this build's really going to kind of shine, because there's ads for you to just, you know, take a look over at, shoot once or twice, or throw a grenade over there, and then you're good to go. So throw a grenade, get my kills back, or get my rift back. It looks like they're actually burning through it a little bit. It's 2 wizards and 4 thrall hitting me. Looks like they're able to overpower, so you might have to do like a little wiggling. But yeah, so that's the idea for this build. So now let's go and check out my Sunbracer build. So I essentially am going to just pop over to a different set of gear. Boots can stay the same. So armor mods, looking at pretty much the same thing. I'm running double ashes to assets on the helmet. But you can swap that up a little bit if you want to get the extra resilience. I'm only having 80 resilience on this build just because of the way the armor worked out. again, momentum transfer, seeking wells. You know, you could put champion mod, whatever you want on there. Chest, essentially the same thing. Elemental ordnance, explosive well maker, well of ordnance. Everything else is more or less the same. The only difference here is originally, instead of Empyrean or I forget the explosion one, torches. Torches is already applied. Combustion, whatever it was. Instead of Empyrean, I was running Searing, because that gives you your melee energy back. Obviously, with Sunbracers, you want your melee energy up at most all the time, because that gives you the ability to proc Sunbracers and just throw 5 grenades essentially before, like 5 grenades instantly. Just throw them all, spam them back to back. You can pop that in there if you want. I was also using Heat Rises strictly because of the final blows while airborne gives you melee energy. So again, you want your melee energy to be up all the time, and with the new buff to Heat Rises, this could be, you know, a little more usable. So you can consume your grenade, fly around, you know, shoot some things. You would also probably want to switch back to Phoenix Dive, just because you will be able to dive from in the air. So we're going to switch things around a little bit here. And I'm going to keep Ember of Empyrean on, just because I want to see how that works, especially with Phoenix Dive. Because with Heat Rises active, you gain restoration while diving. And I want to then extend that restoration with Ember of Empyrean. So again, we're going to just kind of give it a second here for my grenade to come back. Snag a couple kills while I wait. I want to try and avoid picking up these burdens, so I don't have that same issue as before. Oh, I'm not generating orbs because I don't have my, I've got 2 Ashes assets on. Alright, so I'm going to pop my grenade, get Heat Rises, grab a couple kills. You can see that extends the duration of Heat Rises to a maximum of 30 seconds. Then the idea is you melee something weak, and then you can throw... Oh, I'm not using... Sorry, I forgot to swap my grenade over. So with Sunbracers, you have to use the solar grenade. So that's very important, otherwise it doesn't actually work. So you probably won't have that problem. I have that problem because I usually have DIM for these. Alright, so Sunbracers ready, pop a grenade, and then you can just spam them. Just rain fire all over the place. Just kind of keep hopping around, because grenade kills while you're in the air also extends your Heat Rises. You can see Sunbracers ready. I'll just eat another grenade just to have that, and just keep throwing. Snap your fingers, throw more grenades. So that's the idea for this build. So now let's test out the Empyrean aspect of it, now that we've got that new feature. So I'm going to dive, restoration ×2 for 10 seconds, get back in the air, let's get some kills. Yeah, so that is extending it. So let's drop down, see what we've got going on here. Hopefully this grenade goes away. Yep, so ability kills works just like expected, so I can still throw my grenades while in the air, gliding around with ×2 restoration. And with ×2 restoration and this mobility, you're probably not going to die, really. I kind of want these wizards to respawn so I can test that theory. So I'll just keep getting some kills here. So you can see I'm in a situation now where my melee energy is out, but I just hop up in the air, snag a couple kills, and it'll be back in no time. So throwing grenades, I've got restoration ×2. wizards are shooting at me, but they can't really hit me. And I'm not really having to like do anything because my grenade's killing all those ads. Now again, this is kind of situational. I've got endless ads spawning from one particular point. It's easy to have that happen. But in a dungeon setting, it wouldn't necessarily be this easy. In a raid setting, might not be this easy. But for lower end content, this is definitely just like a fun build, you know, just spamming grenades everywhere, unlimited heals, as long as you don't pick up a burden. Oh, that one didn't work. That's interesting. I don't know why sometimes the burdens remove restoration and sometimes they don't. That's very interesting. But yeah, so those solar grenades are going to do a lot of work for you here. Especially if you just stay in the air and mobile all the time, you're good to go. I'm going to probably die to this. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the build. Yeah, I mean, I think either one could work in lower end content. Higher end content, I'm most likely going to lean towards the fusion grenades, just because that has a lot more damage output potential with the grenades exploding twice, and the ignition. Those that essentially equates to one grenade doing about 100,000 damage, maybe a little more. On Galron was my test subject for that. With this build, I haven't run it in the new dungeon yet. I might give it a shot just to see how it works. But yeah, so that's my Solar Warlock build. I've got 2 of them going on so far. Again, you don't have to use Vex. Any solar primary would probably be good. Maybe not Drang, but something with Incandescent, just because that spreads Scorch. So you're going to get more ignitions, more explosions. You know, that's just kind of all good there. Again, you could use Explosive Personality or some other solar special. I wouldn't recommend a glaive, but you, I guess, could run a glaive. Or even like a solar heavy, like Cataclysmic, Archon's Thunder, Xenophage, Galahorn. You know, so many options there. But yeah, so that's what I got going on. Yeah, leave any comments if you have any questions or thoughts on it. I'm going to put the DIM link to my 2 builds in the description. And yeah, just let me know what you think. I am trying to grow the channel, so if you would like and subscribe the video, or like the video and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.